Hello friend, let's talk about color theory today. In this video, I will talk about the fundamentals of color wheels, the qualities of color, and color harmony. I hope by understanding these concepts you can enhance your artistic skills and gain practical knowledge of how colors work together, which can help you create visually appealing works. So, let's jump right in and explore the world of color together. Let's talk about commonly used color wheels in art and design. The CMYK color wheel stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. This color wheel is commonly used in print and design, and it is based on mixing inks. The red, green, and blue color model represents colors on electronic displays, such as computers and digital devices. Finally, there is a red, yellow, and blue color wheel, also known as a traditional color wheel. Although some may see the traditional wheel as limited, it holds much value for artists in understanding color theory. That is why I want to show you in practice how you can create your traditional color wheel with the primary colors you may have at home. After giving it a little bit of thought, I decided to use the following primary colors: permanent yellow, phthalo blue, and quinacridone rose. You may, however, prefer a different combination of colors. Let me give you a few examples of primary colors that could be used to create an effective color wheel. For primary yellow, you can pick either cadmium yellow or Hansa yellow or lemon yellow. For primary blue, you can choose ultramarine blue or Windsor blue red shade or cobalt blue. For primary red, you can choose cadmium red or alizarin crimson or pyrrole red. Here you see me loading my brush with primary colors and arranging them in circular format. After I applied the primary colors, I proceeded with mixing the secondary colors by simply combining two primary colors. Mixing secondary colors is an excellent process that allows you to expand your color palette and learn about color wheel arrangement. Here, I created the secondary color orange by mixing equal parts of primary yellow and primary red. I then mix primary colors to create other secondary colors, green and purple. Although I didn't record myself rinsing my brush, I want you to know that I rinsed my brush in water every time before loading my brush with a primary color. This way, I made sure I kept my primary colors clean. You can see me going back and forth loading phthalo blue and quinacridone rose until I am satisfied with the ratio and the look of the secondary color purple, all the while rinsing my brush before dabbing it into a phthalo blue or quinacridone rose. As I finish mixing secondary colors, I'm ready to move on to mixing tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are also known as intermediate colors. They are formed by combining a primary color, yellow, red, or blue, with a secondary color, orange, purple, or green. They sit between primary and secondary colors and offer a wide range of hues. Here are some interesting facts about tertiary colors. For example, they offer a broader spectrum of colors, providing depth and subtlety to artworks. Adjusting the proportions of primary to secondary colors allows artists to achieve different shades and tones within the tertiary color range. Tertiary colors significantly expand the color palette available to artists, offering a wide range of options for creating depth, contrast, and harmony in artworks. I love how my porcelain plate is turning into a color wheel as well. I purposefully allowed pigments to flow into each other as I began approaching the end of this exercise. Here are the names of tertiary colors in the order I've mixed them: yellow-orange, green-yellow, blue-green, purple-blue, red-purple, and orange-red. As I mentioned earlier, you can use any primary color of your choice. I myself practiced with a few different combinations, and all of them gave me different results. Feel free to play around with the primary colors you may have at home. Let's move on to discussing the qualities of color. First is hue. Hue refers to the color itself, such as red, blue, or yellow. Saturation refers to the purity or vividness of color. And finally, the value of color. Value refers to the relative lightness or darkness of color. Colors can range from light tints to dark shades. Value is crucial for creating contrast, depth, and emphasis in artwork. I'm compelled to show you how to create a value scale using watercolors. For this exercise, you'll need to gather watercolor paper and a brush, fill a jar with clean water, and pick the color you like. As you can see, I first loaded my brush with concentrated pigment and painted the first square. This would be my reference for the darkest value. I then proceeded with gradually lightening of the values. Please notice how I gently dip my brush in the water container to remove a little bit of paint and dilute the paint on my brush at the same time. With every such dip, I create a slightly lighter value until I get an almost clear square consisting of mostly water. I feel like continuing with this exercise and showing you how I create value scales with different colors. By doing these exercises, one can develop a better understanding of how to control and manipulate the lightness and darkness using watercolors. And they let one practice painting with watercolor brushes, learn to control water to pigment ratios on a brush, and simply enjoy the fascinating nature of watercolor media. While I create value scales, please allow me to share my early experiences with watercolors. When I was just starting to learn painting with watercolors, I found myself struggling. The brush felt foreign in my hand and the paints and water seemed to have mind of their own. I often felt frustrated with watercolors. My first paintings were just simply washes, but every stroke and every wash brought me closer to understanding the amazing potential watercolors have. Through the years of practice, I gradually became more comfortable with watercolor brushes, gaining control over the flow of water and paints. And after all these years, I find myself continuously drawn to watercolors. They have become my sanctuary, offering a sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment. With each brushstroke, I feel a connection with places I feel inspired by, my brushes and my watercolors. It is a dance of creativity that rejuvenates my soul every day. I hope my journey inspires you to pick up your watercolor brushes and embark on your own creative paths. Remember, it takes time for your skill to emerge, so be patient and embrace the process. Let the colors flow and the water guide you. Next, I would like to talk to you about color harmony. Color harmony is the art of combining colors in a way that is pleasing to the eye. Monochromatic harmony, for example, uses variations of a single color. Complementary harmony uses colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. It creates a strong contrast that can be used to create an eye-catching effect. The easy and effective way to remember complementary pairs is to practice applying them on paper. For this project, I simply used 3 primary colors: quinacridone rose, permanent yellow, and phthalo blue. Let's start with the yellow color. The complement to yellow is simply the mix of red and blue, which gives us purple color. If you look at the color wheel we have created during our previous lesson, you will see that yellow and purple colors are located opposite each other on the color wheel. The color wheel is a great reference for artists. It is helpful when one wants to learn about different color harmonies. The complement to blue, for example, is orange, which is simply the mix of red and yellow colors. When I applied one color on top of another, I made sure the previous layer is thoroughly dry, either by leaving it to dry on its own or by using the hairdryer. By doing so, I wanted to show you how transparent watercolors behaved when colors are layered one on top of another. Here you clearly see the orange color emerge when the red was applied on top of the yellow color. Finally, the complement to red is the combination of yellow and blue. When they are combined, they make green color. I hope you'll get a chance to play with the colors you have at home to make swatches like this. I, for example, learn the best by doing things and seeing the results of my work. This way, I form a core memory of important things I need to learn in life. I hope you found this exercise helpful in understanding the complementary colors. There are other color harmonies used in art and design, for example, the split complementary color harmony, analogous color harmony, triadic and tetradic color harmonies. I plan to make future tutorials discussing these harmonies. Please let me know if this is something you will be interested in learning. Before I go, I would like to thank you for watching this video, for liking and subscribing to my channel. I love having you here and be part of your artistic journey. Please visit my other tutorials on watercolor basics and keep on creating. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.